Next on Time for Living, making the most of your diet. Are you eating the right foods? We'll tell you how.
Meet the Golden Steppers of Roxbury, Massachusetts, and find out why they're getting this week's second effort salute.
And get set to visit the Holy Land. We're taking you to Israel in this week's Traveling Around segment. All this and more next on Time for Living.
Hello, I'm Janet Jagalian.
And I'm Rex Kraler. Welcome to Time for Living.
Now, if you're over 50 years of age, you're not alone. As a matter of fact, you're part of the largest growing segment of the population. And because of health and diet, people are living longer and more fulfilling lives.
Well, that's right. And as you say, diet is one of the keys to living longer. Proper nutrition is important no matter what your age. Now, you may have developed what's been known as the middle-age spread, or may have been overweight all your life. In later years, those extra pounds can be unhealthy. If you've always had a problem with your weight or picked up a few unwanted pounds just recently, it isn't too late to do something about it. As Time for Living's Barbara Brilliant discovered, there are ways to make sure you're eating what's good for you.
It's very sad when you have a little girl and her mother weighs over 300 pounds and all the kids kid her. It's sad. It hurt her very, very much. She never told me until I had lost the weight. And now she's wonderful. She wants to go shopping with me. She wouldn't go anywhere with me if she could help it.
Evelyn Feinson always struggled with her weight. After trying and failing at every diet, she resorted to the dangerous procedure of stapling her stomach. Nothing worked. Not even her aunts offered to buy her a mink coat if she would only lose weight. She just couldn't change her eating habits. It wasn't until she turned 50 that Evelyn was able to begin winning her battle of the bulge.
I don't believe age makes any difference. I started losing weight when I was past 50 years of age. Up until then, I couldn't do it, and now I can do it.
And Evelyn is doing it. She lost 155 pounds and is slowly but surely working toward her goal. But it hasn't been easy.
When you're over 325 pounds or 350 pounds, when you lose 20 or 30, most people would say, look at me, I'm way down in size. I wasn't down in any size. Everything fit me, but it just hung a little bit longer. And then you get discouraged and everybody goes off, but my instructor wouldn't let me. She made me keep coming and coming. Then 60 pounds came off, and wow, I went down a size. And then 75 came off, 80, and then I started to lose. It got loose with all the clothing. And then after 100 pounds, I felt like a human being.
Evelyn found that enrolling in a diet plan was the answer. With the help of a patient counselor and a small group, she was given the information and self-esteem that made the difference. But self-esteem is often difficult to maintain when you look different.
The saddest thing was knowing when you were sitting there, people were talking about you. That was the saddest thing, having people look at you. Having people whispering. You knew it, but I just joked and made believe I didn't see it. But I went home and I ate and I cried.
If you're overweight, you're not alone. A third of the American population has too much body fat. But there is some good news. It's not too late to reverse this trend. Now, you might have 10 pounds to lose. Well, 10 pounds isn't significant. Or is it? Excuse me, may I have 10 pounds of fat, please? No thanks. Where you store your fat is very important. If you're carrying your weight on your belly and your waist, which some people call the apple shape, experts suggest that this might be that the fat is also being carried around vital organs, a marker for heart disease. So if, like Evelyn, you want to reduce your body fat, where do you begin? For some, they start with a group.
The most important part of this day is that we're starting out with breakfast.
Sarah Smith has been a diet workshop instructor for 11 years. She lost 40 pounds 12 years ago, and she has kept it off. But most people who lose weight gain it back again. Why?
I think we eat too much. I think that we make the wrong choices in our food. I think that our attitude gets us in trouble sometimes. We fail so often, we just fail again. And I don't think we exercise enough. I think there are basically those 4 reasons.
Down, the hand with the weight, and up.
Exercise has become a major part of all weight loss programs. And the 2 best types of exercises for older people are weight-bearing exercises like walking, aerobics, and bike riding, and strength training like weightlifting. Okay, so you're exercising. Now, what must you know about dieting?
I don't think people realize how important it is to weigh and measure and know exactly what they're eating. I think a lot of people conceive that as a lot of extra work, but it's the work that you have to do.
So what should you eat? And in what proportions?
Our food pyramid is turned around upside down from what you see in a cereal box. We put the foods on the top that we eat the most, which are the complex carbohydrates. It's actually the bulk of our program is grains and fruits and vegetables. The grains are on the top, and then the fruits and vegetables, and that's 60% of what we eat at Diet Workshop, are grains and fruits and vegetables. And then 20% is protein, meat, fish, chicken, eggs, milk products. And then 20%, that other little 20%, are the fats.
For those who hate to cook, Diet Workshop sells all kinds of prepared foods, from fresh meals to foods you wouldn't associate with dieting. Cheesecake, cookies, pudding, and chips. Sounds too good to be true.
We have to learn how to eat, not how not to eat. We think dieting means don't eat. Dieting means eat. Thin people are eating much more than we are.
It's said that nothing tastes as good as being thin feels. So, whether you choose a program like Diet Workshop, go to a nutritionist, or attend a 12-step program like Overeaters Anonymous, you should check with your doctor first. Also, remember to ask about vitamin and mineral supplements. There's a lot of help out there, but you have to be ready. It's up to you to take the initiative.
Nope, sheets. That's it.
The initiative has paid off for Evelyn Feinson. She's growing accustomed to her new lifestyle and her new figure. Today, she enjoys her friends, family, and volunteer work. But she remembers the days when things were different.
This may not be the right thing to show on television, but I think that you should see. This were the panties that I wore 10 years ago. And these panties I wore last Friday night.
Way to go, Evelyn. I'm Barbara Brilliant. Time for living.
Impressive, you have to say that. Joining me now in studio is Gail Montgomery. Now, Gail is the president and CEO of Diet Workshop, and she's also founded a startup venture specializing in the manufacture and distribution of fresh foods through retail weight loss centers. And in just a few minutes, we'll begin taking your calls on nutrition and weight loss. Our number here on Time for Living is 617-244-3344. So please do pick up the phone and give us a call. And we want to welcome you to Time for Living. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you, Janet.
That was a very interesting segment that was done by Barbara Brilliant to show the stick-to-itiveness that's necessary to bring about a successful end result. But all too many people find themselves in a situation when they are overweight, and many of them, I think, end up telling themselves, I'm not eating any more than I used to, but I'm gaining weight. And this is probably because we're just getting older and our metabolism changes.
Our metabolism changes. There's less need for the body to repair itself, so internally we burn less calories, and we also slow down. We're not as active as we are. We're not chasing after small children anymore or carting ourselves around to see our teenagers' activities. So unless we build the activity into our life, we are burning less calories.
Mm-hmm. So even if we get up and get out there and start doing a lot of walking and a lot of activity, unless we think about what food we're eating, we're really not going to be giving ourselves a total benefit.
Any sound weight loss program really requires a change in your eating habits as well as in your exercise habits. The two things really work hand in hand, and it's very difficult to do one without the other.
Mm-hmm. And I think people also have to have the feeling that they've tried and they've failed to lose weight, and perhaps they've lost weight successfully and then they've put it back on, and it gets to be such a psychological downward spiral for them.
Yes.
And how do you motivate people like that to say, one more time, try, because this is a change in lifestyle?
Well, I think that that's the fundamental mistake that we make, that we think that we, with a little bit of willpower and short-term resolve, we can fix this problem. And it's usually for some short-term goal, an up-and-coming wedding or a graduation or something. You know, we're going on a cruise and we want to get in a bathing suit. But the reality is that it does take a total change in lifestyle and a continuing balance between the amount of energy you take into your body and how much you spend. And so that is a lifestyle change.
And no matter how much weight you have to lose, whether it's a small amount or a very large amount, as was shown with the Barbara Brilliant segment, you still have reason to hope that you can reach your goal.
Yes. Well, there are many, many success stories, and probably as many success stories as there are failures in the diet industry. Unfortunately, I think it's easier for us to focus on the failures because those of us who haven't been successful, misery loves company.
Yeah.
and we take some comfort in the fact that it does seem hard. But actually, it's not that hard. It just takes a continuing positive attitude about making these changes.
But let's talk about some things that people can actually do to help themselves. I've heard over and over again, I skip breakfast, I don't eat much lunch, and then, boy, I tend to pig out by dinner time. That's the wrong approach.
It is the wrong approach because your body needs more energy in the day when you're up and active, and one of the first things you want to do is eat a healthy breakfast that includes a little bit of protein and a little bit of carbohydrate. That jumpstarts the metabolism. That gets the body chemistry working optimally so that you actually start burning off fats.
Isn't it true, too, that if we eat the heaviest meal at nighttime, that we're more likely to, that's going to turn to fat because it's just sitting there in your stomach?
Right, absolutely, yes. Most of us sit and watch TV or go to movies or do something leisurely in the evening, and that's when we need the least amount of food.
This is a question I know that people are concerned about, and that is, do you have to have a lot of money to lose weight?
No, absolutely not. Actually, healthy eating can be quite economical, especially today. There's so many portion-controlled choices available, so many specials, so many inexpensive prepared foods. It gets easier and easier, I think, to eat healthier.
Let's take a call. Jan from Bristol, Connecticut joins us on Time for Living. Hi, Jan.
Hi.
What's your question?
Well, I'm an older person. Number one, I'm wondering where you are at in Connecticut.
We are broadcasting live from Massachusetts, from outside the Boston area.
Yeah, but so your diet workshops are not in Connecticut.
Oh, actually, we don't have any outlets in Connecticut. We are primarily centered in the greater Boston area.
Okay, I have a problem. I'm a much older person than most people and have gone through all the diets available. I find that once I eat a carbohydrate in the morning, forget it. I'm done for the day. I just want to eat and eat and eat.
Some people do find that carbohydrates are a trigger food. What you want to do then is to try to combine a very small amount of carbohydrates, like a piece of whole wheat toast, with something like cheese or yogurt. What you need to do is have a combination of foods, not the single food alone, because what the simple sugars will do they'll be metabolized very quickly, and then you'll crave more of them. But if you balance that with a little protein intake, it should be much easier.
Doesn't that go against mixing carbohydrates and protein that you shouldn't do?
No, absolutely. You should always try to incorporate a little bit of protein with your carbohydrates. The balance is about 60% carbohydrates and 20% protein, and then 15 to 20% in fats you're allowed.
Would it be possible for Jan to contact anyone here in Boston just to get some more information?
Absolutely. You can call our toll-free number, 1-800-488-DIET, and we can actually send you some materials in the mail as well.
Oh, I love that. And last question, what do you do if you're up till midnight every night and you're going to eat?
Well, a lot of people are very into late-night snacking. The important thing is to choose things that will not add to your weight. You can snack on fresh vegetables. Now it's, again, very easy. They package all kinds of pre-peeled and pre-cleaned vegetables in little plastic baggies.
Just don't dip them in anything, that's all.
That's a problem.
How about popcorn?
Actually, you can make a wonderful dip out of low-fat yogurt and just add a little bit of fat-free salad dressing to it. And just dip your vegetables in that. And again, you've got something light and satisfying, and you feel like you're indulging yourself without adding calories.
Thank you so much for your call, Jan. And we'll get to more calls and get more answers to questions that you might have for Gail Montgomery. So don't go away, just stay right with us, and we'll be back. All right, when you talk to a telephone caller, okay, when you talk to a caller. And welcome back to Time for Living. I'm talking with Gail Montgomery of Diet Workshop, and we're talking about the importance of nutrition for older Americans. And you can join in on the conversation by giving us a call, because we'd love to hear from you. Our number is 617-244-3344. Gail, before we go back to the phones, what about the whole feeling now of if you just try to eliminate fat, you're going to be fine, you're going to lose weight. And then this is low-fat craze that people have gone into, even going to look at labels on foods in the supermarkets, and they probably are more confused by all of this than are helping themselves.
Well, I think that people have to understand that all calories do count. You can't just cut fat out of your diet because obviously we've all seen friends who have gotten fat on eating fat-free cookies. So you have to balance everything, and you do need anywhere from 10 to 30% fat in your diet because fat's essential for processing all your fat-soluble vitamins, which are your vitamin A, D, and E, which are all very, very important to healthy
you have to
metabolism.
Admit, 10% fat is pretty tough to do. I mean, even Dr. Pritikin and Dr. Ornish might be able to do that sort of thing, but I think that 20% probably is an ideal thing to shoot for.
At 20 to 30%, your food can still really taste good, and you can indulge yourself a little bit. At 10%, it gets to be very austere.
Absolutely. Let's take another call. Margie from Saugus, you're on Time for Living.
Hi. Good afternoon. I have a question. I'm an older American also, and I'm on a sodium-free, low-fat, calorie-controlled diet, and I've gotten down to my goal weight many times. My question is, one of them is avocados. Are they allowed on the diet? I understand it's a high fat. I'm a vegetarian, incidentally, and I eat just raw fruits and vegetables, and I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have any of the cheeses or dairy products, and I have a sodium-free salad dressing that I use. And I know what you're saying about getting hungry sometimes, and the reason I ask about avocados is it's a soothing vegetable that sometimes if you get hungry you need something a little extra, but I understand they're very high in fat and calories.
They are very high in fat and in calories, and the way that I would suggest you use it if you're trying to control your weight is to use it almost as a condiment. Just take 1 or 2 slices off the avocado, dice it, and put it onto the salad so you get the taste satisfaction and some of the enjoyment from it, but you don't overindulge or take too much fat in at any given time.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you.
You answered my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, Margie, enjoy. Do you feel that people should not deny themselves the taste of something?
Absolutely. Deprivation is one of the reasons that most people go off of diets. They think that they can't ever have anything that tastes good again, and that's absolutely not true. Those of us who maintain our weight really sometimes indulge in fattening desserts. We have ice cream, but we moderate and balance everything.
Absolutely. Our next call is from Berkeley. Steve, go ahead. You're on Time for Living.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a 37-year-old male, not necessarily an older American, but I have been battling a weight problem for at least 20 years, since high school. The reason is probably for lack of activity, if not for a really good, lean, balanced diet. I'm also a vegetable hater, you might say. I'll eat maybe lettuce and onions from a salad, but that's about it. Not into greens or anything like that. Recently had some surgery, some hand surgery done, and at the same time my doctor put me on the scale and got pretty angry at me. So I have since then just pretty much tried to, like you were saying before, get it down to about a 20 to 30% fat intake, 20 to 30 grams a day, maybe a little higher. But the key thing is the deprivation thing that you just brought up. Occasionally, I'll allow myself to have a handful of chips.
What do you eat, Steve?
A lot of chicken, bagels, a lot of cereal, a lot from the grains.
Pasta, potato?
Yeah, potato, carrots, and I'll tell you what, here's a little tip for those of you who might be wondering how to prepare these, a pressure cooker. Try a pressure cooker because it seems to drain everything of the fat, or most of it, and keeps the taste. It's just like steaming, but everything's very tender and very delicious.
Well, good luck to you. I hope you make your goal and keep it.
Thank you very much.
It's really not an easy struggle that people get involved with, but the important thing is that they try, because it means bringing health back into their life. You have said, I know, that there are nutrition related chronic diseases that we have to try to avoid, and prevention is the best way.
Absolutely. Heart disease, diabetes, so many diseases are really linked to the obesity problem in our country, and poor nutrition. And if we could correct that, we'd be a healthier society for sure.
And a lot of us, as in Steve's case, are putting this weight on at younger ages, which means that once you get to post-40, you're in more trouble. So you've got to try to do something about it before then.
Yes, we're seeing significantly more and more teenagers and younger children with weight problems, and it is a major concern.
Gail, let's talk about diet supplements and vitamins and things that, as Steve pointed out, he's not a green vegetable person, which means he's losing a lot of important nutrition.
He's losing a lot of important nutrients, and he's also losing the opportunity to fill up on things that are actually very low in calories and very low in fat. He's also not getting enough fiber, and those are all very important to a healthy diet. So Steve should rethink that a little bit and at least find a few things that he can start to acclimate himself to and learn to enjoy.
All right, what nutrients, what additives should people think about?
Well, you should take a comprehensive vitamin that provides 100% of the RDA of the key vitamins and the minerals, which are A, B, C, D, E. You need iron, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and a one-a-day program. There are certainly many available. You should also be looking, if you're an older adult, and primarily the women really need to be looking for a supplement that has 100% of your calcium RDA.
Absolutely. You want to be careful of osteoporosis.
Right.
Tony from West Roxbury, you're on Time for Living.
Hi, Janet.
Hi.
The question I have is, even though you cut your fat intake down, don't you still have to watch your carbohydrate intake, simply because it converts to sugar quickly in the body and it stores as fat? This is what I was told by nutritionists. Also, I'm working out quite a bit now, and I'm not losing as much weight as I thought I would. It's really aggravating, and well, I sort of blew it for Memorial Day, but I'm back on the track today. And I was stalling. I was eating bagels and all that stuff, no-fat cream cheese, never mind the low-fat. But it just seemed like my weight reduction stalled, and
well,
it gets aggravating.
Tony, she mentioned that these are all calories, even though they're low-fat or no-fat.
That's right.
You have to think about the volume of what you're eating.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you eat more carbs, just by eating more carbs and replacing the carbs that used to be fat, I don't know if that's doing you much good, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, you really have to be sure that your total calorie intake leaves you with about a 500-calorie deficit every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, about how big are you, Tony?
Well, I'm about 5'9.5", And right now I'm about 260, and I wanted to lose about 60 pounds.
Okay.
I have a big frame. I used to lift and things like that.
Okay, so you probably need to be on anywhere from 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah, that's what they told me. And I even looked in a chart and it said I should even be eating about 2,200 calories a day.
Well,
for energy, because I'm working out with weights 3 days a week and I'm doing cardio training. But I'll tell you, it's just not...
Are you actually using any kind of a program that lets you actually calculate how many calories you're eating every day?
In other words, are you weighing or measuring?
Are you weighing or measuring, or are you actually writing down what you're eating?
Well, I'm very bad at documenting things.
Yes.
I must tell you that. But I do know that, for example, you say a bagel is 150 calories. If you say...
That's the big one.
You know,
there are small ones too, Tony.
Right.
Well, these are the big ones you get at the stores.
Right.
Well, the difference can be 200 or 300 calories, so
Sure.
it's significant.
Okay, Tony, we have to hold you there. But we want to thank you, Tony, and good luck in your effort as well. This is an ongoing struggle for sure, and I think people should get information and find out what is going to work for them. Certainly activity and trying to eat good food, good nutritious food is what they have to do as they get into their older years and even before then to prevent any kind of problem. I want to thank you so much, Gail. It's been fascinating.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And the world of nursing homes and hospitals can be a lonely one for some older adults. But a program near San Francisco helps relieve the loneliness and depression felt by so many nursing home residents. In today's Newsbreak segment, Time for Living's Carolyn Murdoch tells us about this innovative program called Love is the Answer.
Isn't it gorgeous? Nice out here, huh?
Every Saturday at 11 a.m., Ginny Tote comes to visit her friend, 79-year-old Vivian Kelly. Ginny is a volunteer with the organization LITA, which stands for Love is the Answer. Its purpose, to enhance the lives of nursing home residents.
And that we do by providing volunteers on a one-to-one basis to establish friendships with the residents in the care facilities.
Volunteers are interviewed, then paired with residents. Before long, the matches turn into friendships.
I just love her.
You know, you can't do anything wrong. That is really it in a nutshell. There is no negativism at all.
Yes,
and it makes you feel more positive about your life.
Officials say these visits help fight depression and low self-esteem for the residents.
We've seen residents completely turn around in their personality after having a LITA visitor and become much more outgoing, actually communicate and participate in the activity programs.
You have a chance to look at your magazine yet?
Absolutely. I've read the whole thing.
Pretty good, huh?
But the volunteers come away with a sense of joy and well-being. Donald Whitaker has been visiting Elaf Enkberg for just a few months.
I get a good feeling out of watching him laugh and carry on. Just to see him brighten up for the day, you know. It's a lot of fun for him.
It's just a real inner peace about doing this. So, anyway, you know, it gets real sentimental, I suppose.
Love is the answer, see?
Yeah.
It is the answer.
I'm Carolyn Murdoch. Time for Living.
Love is the answer. LITA officials say this type of program can be set up in any community. And if you'd like to find out more, contact Love is the Answer at 415-472-5482. Again, that number is 415-472-5482. And when Time for Living continues, get your dancing shoes on. We'll be stepping out with the Golden Steppers, who are getting this week's second effort salute. Please stay with us.
All our songs, talking about lifestyles but not so rich and famous.
Nearly everyone tells me that one of the keys to valued aging is staying active.
And that's for sure, Rex. We all know that. But don't fall victim to that old myth that once you retire, you must slow down. You know your own limits. You don't want to do anything crazy, of course, or foolish. But if you're physically able to exercise and stay active, make sure you do. Remember the old saying, use it or lose it.
I heard that one. One group of women who live by that motto is the Golden Steppers of Roxbury, Massachusetts. They line dance for fun and exercise, as well as to entertain others. Time for Living's Rod Fritz introduces us to this active group of women who get this week's second effort salute.
So won't you come on and save me? Stop me before I drown.
I do it because I like to perform, I like to stay healthy. It's a great form of exercise, you know, and it's fantastic.
Every week, these women step out to have fun and stay active. They're the Golden Steppers of Roxbury, Massachusetts. Today, they're entertaining hundreds of other seniors gathered at Boston's Franklin Park Zoo.
I'm getting good exercise, keep my blood still circulating. Really? Yeah. I think all of us do it for fun and exercise, really. And to encourage other seniors not to get in the rocking chair. That's my whole focus. To tell seniors not to get in the rocking chair yet. Although I have a swivel rocker ready, but I'm not ready for it. I'm 81. If I can do it, and a lot of people in the rocking chairs are lower than 81. If I can do that, but I've been dancing for 16 years, 17 years, and it makes a difference when you start. And my doctor tells me to keep it up.
The Golden Steppers have about 30 active members. They range in age from 55 to 80. They line dance for various reasons.
After I retired, I wanted to have something to do because I wasn't going back to work again. So that someone in the community said, why not go over to the Golden Airs, which I did. And shortly after that, I joined the line dancers. And I've been doing it for about 3 years.
The Golden Steppers are just one part of a larger group called the Golden Airs. Affiliated with Roxbury's Freedom House, the Golden Airs are made up of a chorus, an exercise group, an arts and crafts group, as well as the popular Golden Steppers. While they enjoy performing for audiences, it hasn't always been easy.
When I first started, I didn't like it because I didn't start dancing for that reason. We started for exercise. I did anyway. But as you go along and people want to see what you do, well, I developed a little confidence.
They put on about 4 performances a month. They urge other older folks to follow their lead and get dancing.
As soon as you retire, as soon as they retire, they should get into some kind of program like this that keeps your body moving, really.
I'm Rod Fritz. Time for Living.
Sort of makes you want to get dancing yourself, doesn't it?
It sure does. And what an energetic group of women as well.
Now, if you want to find out more about the Golden Steppers or about the Golden Airs, you can reach them by calling Roxbury's Freedom House at 617-445-3700. Again, that number is 617-445-3700.
Or if you know someone or some group worthy of our second effort salute, please let us know. Just write to us here at Time for Living's Second Effort Salute, care of Time for Living, P.O. Box 1698, Framingham, Massachusetts 01701. You can also call our voicemail at 1-800-232-7213.
Up next on Time for Living, our Traveling Around segment. We'll be taking you to the historic sites of Israel. Please stay with us. Every week on Time for Living, we take a trip to an exciting destination.
You know, older Americans are traveling in great numbers, so we like to give you some ideas of places to go.
Today we're off to a place rich in history and in culture, a place held dear by people of many faiths. Pack your bags, we're off to Israel, today's traveling around destination. We begin our journey to Israel with a visit to Tel Aviv's Carmel Market. 80 different ethnic groups call Israel home. In Haifa, the old Arab section of Tel Aviv, jewelry makers ply their trade. As a whole, Tel Aviv is a modern place, yet those with a pioneering spirit can escape the big city into the heart of the Negev. Some of this desert has been transformed into productive farmland, but much remains as it has been for thousands of years. Today they still welcome you to their tents for coffee. The beans ground in a rhythmic pattern unique to each family. From there, a 2-hour camel ride brings you to the hilltop site of Olda. Over the centuries, Roman and Byzantine settlements were built on top of this old city. You have to have a sense of adventure to spend 3 hot, dusty, bumpy hours rolling through this arid landscape. You'll miss a lot unless you speak Hebrew, so make sure you choose a Jeep journey where English is spoken. From the Negev, it's on to Jerusalem, where you'll find the Western Wall. Here is where Jews come to celebrate their faith. Just behind the wall, the Dome of the Rock, where Muslims believe the Prophet Muhammad ascended to the heavens. 2 religions, 2 profoundly different sites. Over many centuries, Jerusalem's blessing and its curse has been that it is a holy place for Christian, Muslim, and Jew. You'll find religious sites here for all 3 faiths. Here you can walk on the same path that Jesus trod on the way to the crucifixion. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Christians believe the cross of Jesus stood, and the tomb where he was buried and resurrected. For pilgrims, an intense religious experience. Now it's on to Israel's Dead Sea. People come here to float like corks, soak in the sun, and slap on the mud with its healing properties. Not far is another place where we can revitalize the spirit rather than the skin.
The story here is a story of such heroism and resistance to tyranny that everyone who comes here, whether they're a Jew or a Christian, can relate to it.
King Herod built Masada 2,000 years ago, but he died before ever seeing his clifftop fortress. A few hundred Jewish zealots took over Masada, defying the mighty Roman Empire.
Here you've got a very good view of the Roman siege camp.
For 2 years, the defenders held off the Roman army. 900 men, women, and children beating back 10,000 soldiers. Finally, the Romans began knocking down the fortress walls at Masada. At that point, the defenders knew their cause was lost. Each man killed his own family, then each other, till all were gone.
They wanted to die in a way that would emphasize the way they had lived as people who resisted the tremendous power of the conqueror. They died taking their freedom with them. And this was the worst blow to the Romans.
You'll find security tight at many tourist sites in Israel. Struggles in the Middle East have affected the tourist trade, but Israelis are doing all they can to make their country safe for visitors. Israel, today's traveling around destination. If you're planning for retirement, or if you're already retired, you want to make sure you have enough money to live comfortably.
Sure, you have the monthly income from your Social Security check, but let's face it, the future of Social Security is shaky at best. And if you were smart, you set up an IRA and contributed to a 401k plan at work. But you might still be looking for a guaranteed income to get you through the retirement years.
Maybe you've given some thought to purchasing an annuity, but haven't got enough information about how they work. In today's Health, Finance, and More segment, Time for Living's money expert, Steve Burke, joins us now with much of that needed information.
Thank you. Today we're talking about annuities because most of us who are older are more concerned with income and safety of principal than with growth and risk-taking. Annuities are very much like CDs and treasuries in that they have certain guarantees and are very conservative or low risk. For example, annuities can provide an income you can't outlive. These incomes generally have tax advantages, at least under today's tax laws. Put another way, you can have more spendable money. Further, you can accumulate money without tax and have a minimum guaranteed return on your funds. While most annuities are quite structured, there is one type which can vary with economic conditions, not unlike a mutual fund without taxes, until you start to receive the money. Annuities can be best set up to pay both you and your spouse an income for life. Beyond that, your annuity's cash can be passed on to heirs with a minimum of hassle, no probate cost or delays, if a beneficiary is named. In the broad sense, annuities come in three forms: single premium tax-deferred annuities, single premium immediate annuities, and variable annuities. There are variations of these three, but because of limited time, it's best to stay with the basics. With a single premium tax-deferred, you pay a single sum to an insurance company, and they pay interest on the money. But your taxes are deferred until you actually start taking the money in a lump sum, or an income. Annual premium annuities have much the same characteristics, but you invest your money over a period of time. Single premium immediate annuity begins to pay an income to you and or your spouse immediately on a monthly or periodic basis. The payments can be before a specific period of time, 10 years, or for a lifetime. Variable annuities are not unlike 401ks in that they have tax advantages and more flexibility than typical annuities. However, they don't have the same guarantees that conventional annuities make available. Anyone moving towards retirement or in a retirement mode should investigate the merits of an annuity. While they are not for everyone, a strong case can be made for having some of your retirement monies in an annuity, provided by an A-plus insurance company. Before purchasing an annuity, however, it's important to consult with your financial advisor. Ask lots of questions. Make sure that the safety and the terms of the contract are clear in your mind. Read the fine print and check forfeitures and withdrawal charges. How much do annuities cost? Only that amount of money which you feel comfortable investing in the product. You can put in a small amount or a large. There are limits, but it should never be an amount which makes you uncomfortable. What do you do if you have a problem? Contact the person who provided the annuity. If you're not satisfied with the answer, contact the company directly. And if that doesn't do the trick, call the insurance commissioner's office of your state. Are annuities the best retirement vehicle available? No, but they're darn good in the right place. Annuities can be purchased from many sources: your insurance agent, a financial planner, from banks, and many investment houses. There are a lot of good, talented professionals out there to help you, so don't be concerned about getting assistance. Beware of promises which don't ring true to you or seem too good to be true. Don't be rushed into making decisions when you are unsure. Don't make checks out to individuals. Checks should only be made to the company providing the annuity. Ask lots and lots of questions until you're satisfied that you understand what the product will do for you and your family. Then believe in your judgment. Make haste slowly. I'm Steve Burke. Time for Living.
That was a great job, Steve. Very important information. That's Steve Burke of Coordinated Financial Planning. If you have any questions for Steve, please send them to Health, Finance, and More, care of Time for Living, Post Office Box 1698, Framingham, Massachusetts, 01701-9998. Or call our voicemail number at 1-800-232-7213.
And when we come back, we'll take a look into our Time for Living mailbag. Don't go away.
It's time once again to dip into our Time for Living mailbag. A lot of you have written to us, and thank you for that.
The first letter we received comes from Paul Smith of Nahant, Massachusetts. Now, Paul writes, Dear Rex and Janet, I caught your show last week while channel surfing and stayed long enough to catch half of your show. I'm in my late 30s but have family members who are over 50. I regularly have to deal with situations that affect their health and finances. I was impressed that your show spotlights the things that people can do when they get into later years, instead of talking about all the problems people might face. This is such a positive approach to getting older, and it is one show I think will keep people feeling young.
Well, thanks very much, Paul, for the nice comments. And one of our missions here at Time for Living is to let people know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with growing older.
Do we have another letter?
We sure do. As a matter of fact, this one comes from Larry Blaney of Goffstown, New Hampshire. Larry writes, I'm in my late 40s and happened to tune into your show late one night when I couldn't sleep. So two things happened from watching that show, he says. He was forced to think about what plans I was making to deal with my health and family's future. I've always thought about those issues and have done some planning to make it happen. But the stories you featured, including a look at the older person who made some changes in later life and found a new career, caused me to think a great deal about what I will do when I retire. Keep up the good work. You're providing a great service.
And thanks, Larry. We certainly will try to do just that. And tell a friend.
As a matter of fact, thanks so much for your letters. We'd love to hear from you. Our address is Time for Living, mailbag, P.O. Box 1698, Framingham, Massachusetts, 01701.
Or you can call our voicemail at 1-800-232-7213.
Up next on Time for Living, a look ahead on next week's show and what we're doing. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for watching.
We hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting show.
We'll be looking at the benefits of gardening. So many older people are getting out there, tilling the soil, raising vegetables and flowers. It's good for the mind and the body.
And of course, we'll have our regular Traveling Around and Second Effort features, plus a whole lot more.
Remember, we love to hear from you, so drop us a line here at Time for Living. Our address is P.O. Box 1698, Framingham, Massachusetts, 01701.
Or you can call our voicemail. Our number is 1-800-232-7213.
We leave you now with one more look at Israel. In the meantime, remember,
it's time for living.